before we go any forward with the Harvest Grand Prix, I have some breaking news that's just come out from IndyCar. And in a statement, IndyCar says that the series has reached a new multi-year extension with engine partners Honda and Chevrolet taking their partnership well into the end of the 2020s decade and providing stability and innovation for the NTT IndyCar series. And IndyCar President Jay Fry said to be able to announce a long-term multi-year extension with our two great partners is phenomenal. It's an exciting time in IndyCar with all of the innovations in the car, the new 2.4-liter engine and hybrid technology. And in the statement, IndyCar says that due to the global COVID-19 pandemic, the introduction of the 2.4-liter twin turbocharged V6 engine with hybrid technology will be delayed to the year of 2023. And working in partnership with Chevrolet and Honda, the new engine will give the most exciting and competitive racing series in the world an additional 100 horsepower, ultimately producing over 900 horsepower. Whoa! So those cars are really going to be going fast. The all time speed record, the Indianapolis 500 for pole day might fall well into the 2020s. And then Ted Klaus, president of Honda Performance Development (HPD), said that Honda welcomes this step to the future to the future by IndyCar, action that mirrors Honda's efforts to develop and manufacture high performance electrified products that will meet industry challenges and delight our customers. At Honda, we race to develop our people, to innovate technologies, and to engage fans. We're proud of our uninterrupted 27-year leadership in IndyCar and look forward to delivering a next generation Honda 2.4-liter hybrid power unit with more than 900 horsepower. And then Mark Rose, president of GM Chevrolet, said that Chevrolet has enjoyed great success since joining IndyCar in 2012 with our 2.2-liter twin turbocharged direct injected V6 engine. We are thrilled to be moving forward with IndyCar because it's the perfect showcase for our engine technology and in only open wheel racing in America, a high tech growing series that Roger Penske and his team are absolutely taking it to the next level. And then to end the statement, IndyCar says the newly designed powertrain system also will provide a departure from the traditional manual handheld starters and will let drivers restart the car quickly should it stall on track. So when that happens in the future, Joe, it really looks like that we won't have to go to a full course yellow because the drivers will be able to, restart the cars a lot easier rather than needing to get the marshals to come out there push start them. And this will, yeah, and IndyCar also adds that this will benefit the AMR IndyCar safety team as it reduces exposure time on the track and adds to the fan experience by potentially reducing the number of caution flags, leading to a better flow of the race. And all of this news, it was really crazy because just a little while ago we were talking about if we should be worried about Honda pulling out of IndyCar, but with this breaking news is dropping, Honda has definitely reconfirmed their commitment to IndyCar, and they're going to be
Mm,
here until the year 2030. So, Joe, what's your initial reaction to this news?
just about the best timing. We were just talking about like maybe 5 or 8 minutes ago about Honda and the future with IndyCar. We were saying, we knew IndyCar was looking at a hybrid engine. Well, they just said 2023, that's when we're going to have the hybrid. Will they be working with Honda to ensure them a long term future? The answer, our questions today pretty much is yes, they have been working. And to see and hear about this big deal to the end of the decade, that's going to provide a lot of long term stability and just really interesting because I know we'll talk a little bit later about the growth of IndyCar. It seems like really this is going to lay down a good foundation for anybody wanting to enter in auto racing, whether it's NASCAR or IndyCar. That hey, IndyCar, we got two engine suppliers, and they're here for a long time to come.
Yeah, it's really exciting news for IndyCar. Yeah, we knew Chevrolet was going to stick around, and we're wondering if what happened with the Formula One operation was going to affect the IndyCar operation, but apparently not. Honda's here to stay, and we're going to have 900 horsepower with hybrid technology. So it would not shock me if by the end of the current decade, if we see Ari Leyendijk's record at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is going to fall, might see speeds well above 236 miles per hour, and it's going to be great to see the big speed in IndyCar over the next several years. And now looking back at what's going on this weekend at the Harvest Grand Prix. Yesterday was race one on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course, and the race was very exciting. Great battle at the start with Renus VK and Colton Herta, two youngsters. They stole the show at the beginning and at the end of the race. Do you think with these two young drivers, could we be witnessing the start of a great rivalry between VK and Herta?
Easily, this looks like it's becoming a great rivalry between the two of them. That was a lot of fun watching those two. Now we know Gateway, they had a little bit of a game together, a little bit of a disagreement. And then, of course, Iowa, there's a misfortunate incident occurring during that restart. What's really exciting about these two, especially the way they're racing each other pretty clean. Aggressive, yes, but they're both 20 years old, and that makes it even more exciting. Sometimes we've seen rivalries where it's the old school versus a new school. One of the big rivalries in the late nights, Jeff Gordon versus Dale Earnhardt Sr. This is now a rivalry where both of them are entering. Both of them are in their prime, and both of them have a lot of potential in IndyCar. So this rivalry between Ryan VK and Colton Herta, both of them have really good cars. I'm excited about next season. I think they're going to put on a great battle between the two of them.
Yes, there's a lot of great potential there for a wonderful rivalry that the fans will enjoy watching for years to come. Yeah, VK started on the pole and battled Herta hard for the lead in the beginning stages, but Joseph Newgarden was hard to beat and took the lead and led most of the laps. And he closed the gap to Scott Dixon for the championship down to 40 points. However, Colton Herta has been mathematically eliminated from the championship. Yeah, 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 yeah. We had qualifying earlier today. Will Power started on the pole for race two. We only have two races left, and the max points available is 54 per race. Does Joseph Newgarden have the momentum to win this championship? Because it really seems like that Scott Dixon is really going into a slump at the wrong time of the season.
It really does appear it's going to slump in the wrong time of the year. He looks so unbeatable. It's just really amazing. And now Joseph Newgard, he definitely has some momentum coming out of Gateway, then Mid Ohio, kept it clean up front, and then here we are. He just won yesterday, which is really exciting for him, of course. So definitely big, a lot of big things happening for Joseph Newgarden to try to put a championship effort together.
Yeah, and earlier in the season, Scott Dixon was looking unbeatable. Dixon had a huge lead. He was, on top of the world in every aspect, especially with our grid ranking here. And and after the Indy 500, it seems like Scott Dixon has really fallen off his game. Do you think everyone has caught up to Scott Dixon, and did he peak way too soon?
It seems like everyone seems to have caught up to them. They were really hard to beat. Now, of course, we had a very unique start of the season where limited practice, qualifying race. Now it seems the teams have adjusted and they've closed the gap. Because not only are we not seeing Scott Dixon up towards the front, Felix Rosenquist, he's not exactly up towards the front. Marcus Ericsson, the Chip Ganassi Racing drivers yesterday, they weren't exactly up there contending for the win. With that said, we've also seen Scott Dixon do some uncharacteristic mistakes. Mid Ohio spun out. He called it a rookie error. At the same time, the way that everything's going, we know in Gateway, he didn't have that great of a qualifying session. And then, especially Mid Ohio, another not so great qualifying session. Easily, it does appear that they don't have the momentum on the side. But I do think, in a way, everyone has caught up to Scott Dixon. Traditionally, the IndyCar series very competitive. See much different winners. Now here we are. Scott Dixon 4 wins, Newgarden 3 wins. It seems everyone's starting to really catch up to them.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, we have two races left. Harvest Grand Prix race two this afternoon, and then the Firestone Grand Prix on the streets of St. Pete in Florida. And yesterday we only had one DNF, Andretti on lap 79 out of 85, and today we're gonna have a slightly shorter race. What does Scott Dixon and Joseph Newgarden have to do today?
Well, for Joseph Newgarden, keep doing what you're doing. You looked flawless yesterday with the lead. You led the most laps. If you can't get the win, stay up front, stay ahead of Scott Dixon. You're 40 points. So as long as you close the gap more, that just makes the next race, the last race, easier for you to try to beat Scott Dixon. For Scott Dixon, got to be flawless. You got to go out there, try to get ahead of Joseph Newgarden, or be within a position of him. Because if you could keep that gap over 30 points, over 35 points especially, that's going to make it really difficult for Joseph Newgarden to pass you. But if Joseph Newgarden could get to within 35 and especially 30 points of Scott Dixon entering St. Pete, it is going to be a really intense battle. So that's what they're both looking at. Joseph Newgarden, keep doing what you're doing, have a good, clean race, stay up front. Scott Dixon, you got to put together a really good race right now and stay within or ahead of Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the storylines that broke yesterday was, Meyer Shank race and their driver Jack Harvey came home eight, and it was announced that Liberty Media is going to be a minority investor in Meyer Shank race, and they're looking to expand their presence and in IndyCar, and also some other great news from Meyer Shank race, and they broke ground on their new facility that are gonna a lot much larger facility than their current shop as they're preparing to expand their IndyCar program in the future, and then also they're gonna be having an accurate DPI program as well. So a lot of great things happening for Meyer Shank Racing in IndyCar and IMSA, and we're seeing what looks like a renewed interest in IndyCar. And however, a lot of people have said that the new schedule that announced next year, really disappointing. What does IndyCar do moving forward?
When it comes to IndyCar, their new schedule, it's a bit disappointing to see that we only have 3 ovals. They're going to comprise of the 4 oval races, with Texas being a doubleheader. But still, overall, it's a good season. 17 races. We got a good number of street courses, permanent road courses, and of course the 4 ovals. With that said, especially with today's news that Chevrolet and Honda, they're going to be with IndyCar to the end of the decade. We're going to see 900 horsepower and a new transmission where we could see drivers be able to restart a vehicle on their own. There's still a lot of forward momentum. I do understand IndyCar released their season schedule the day after NASCAR 2021 schedule. So, of course, that's a hard act to follow with what happened Wednesday with the NASCAR schedule coming out. But overall, it's a good season, good schedule, and hopefully we could see, especially now that we got engine suppliers that are both committed to IndyCar for the long haul. We got teams expanded. This news from Meyer Shank Racing expanded. That's really exciting. We know McLaren wants to expand. Ray Hall Letterman wants to expand. We could have a pretty large IndyCar field. And of course, a large IndyCar field will be good for them in the grid ranking as well. And of course, just really great for the sport overall. And I think it could really allow IndyCar to expand and then hopefully see more ovals in the future.
Yeah, and looking at some of the changes that happened with the schedule, Circuit of the Americas gone. NASCAR Cup Series is going to be going to Circuit of the Americas, and then Iowa Speedway's gone from the schedule as well. People are really worried about the future of Iowa because we haven't heard anything. And then the Indianapolis Road Course is going to have 2 days, a traditional weekend in the month of May before the Indy 500, and then we're going to have a doubleheader with IndyCar and the NASCAR Cup Series later on in the season, and then Portland International Raceway not going to be on Labor Day weekend anymore. Going to be put. I think they're pushing that back by a week or so, and then then we're going to have a doubleheader weekend at Texas to kick off the month of May. So we're going to have an oval before the Indianapolis 500. Overall, Joe, what do you think of the schedule and only 3 oval tracks making 4 races? Do you think that ovals might soon become a thing of the past in IndyCar, and the only oval race in the future might be the Indianapolis 500, and the rest are going to be road and street courses?
Hopefully, that's not the case. A lot of folks probably remember how Champ Car started focusing more on street permanent road courses. They're great when it comes to tennis, but when it comes to television race, the ovals always seem to be a race where it stands out, and it's something to get excited about. I know, in the past when it was CART, the Michigan 500, the California 500, those are big events. Of course, now we know Auto Club's going to go away, but definitely I do see potential for IndyCar, especially with the new engine deal, expanded teams. You're going to need bigger facilities as well, too. If you have 25 cars out there, easily Michigan that can hold 25 cars. An oval race with the space, they could do that. So I definitely think we're going to see a reintroduction of ovals. It may not happen, of course, 2021, maybe 2022, but I think especially 2023 and beyond, we can start to see some more ovals.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. I think it's gonna take a while before. Well, hopefully not too long, but I really think that we're gonna have to try to get some more ovals on the track on the schedule to make it more balanced in Kentucky Speedway. Since NASCAR dropped them from the schedule, maybe that could be a destination for IndyCar to go. Yeah, so they can add another oval, and yeah, and hopefully IndyCar will be able to revisit talks with Richmond Raceway. Unfortunate that IndyCar is supposed to return there, but they won't be on the schedule next year. So maybe that could be another oval in the future. NASCAR going back to Nashville Super Speedway. Maybe I don't know if IndyCar would try to race Nashville twice on the street circuit and then the Super Speedway. But certainly there's some options out there for oval tracks, and I think with the increased protection of the with the aero screen, I think that Michigan could could be a good track for IndyCar. The speeds would be really huge there, and especially 900 horsepower. I think that if IndyCar were to return to Michigan in the future, well into the 2020s, that it would give people a great reminders of the old days of IndyCar.